Before Dr. Whiting-Madison comes to the stage, however, we, as usual, have a few announcements. Dulce, it looks like you're up first.
Hey everybody, so I have a couple announcements for DivCo. Our first announcement is that this week on the 13th, we will have a Bob Rock night, so you just come basically paint rocks. And then we'll put them back out into campus, or you can just keep your rock. And then throughout that day, it's a Thursday, we'll have an outdoor scavenger hunt, so find pumpkins around campus, and we'll have prizes for those who do find a pumpkin. And then we sent out an email not that long ago about Friendsgiving with DivCo. So basically for any students who are staying on campus for Thanksgiving, on Wednesday the 26th, we will have a meal for the students who write their name on the form. That way we know how many students are coming, we have enough food, and any preferences if you guys are gluten-free, have any allergies or anything like that. So yeah, thanks.
All right. So as stated last week, the Office of Culture and Belonging is proclaiming November as Circles Month. So this Friday, there will be a circle for Bethel First Gen students this Friday from 11 to 1 in the chapel. Lunch will be served. Look for an email announcement offering more details on this event later today. And at the end of the month, along with Barbecue Club, we'll be hosting the first Barbecue Belonging and Friendsgiving event. So come enjoy some turkey as we have meaningful conversation and gather in circles of belonging to reflect on gratitude and Thanksgiving. This will be happening Thursday, November 20th from 5 to 6:45 in the WAC atrium. It is open to students, faculty, and staff members, and it's a wonderful opportunity to connect across campus before the holiday break. So let's come together in communities, celebrate this season, and give thanks for one another. Please register by scanning the QR code, and we hope to see you there. Thank you.
Can I please get the Convo Points QR code? So there are only about 400 Convocation points left this semester, give or take. Included in that is today's convo. So, you know, since you're here, you get 100 of these 400 points. But it would be valuable for you to check your totals. Peter and I have been working hard to catch up on point totals, so we think we're pretty close to having it up to date. And if you're behind, please make a plan for how you're going to get the remainder of your points. Otherwise, you can send us emails or contact us about points that might not have been entered yet. If you have programs from different events, you know, the play or athletic events, or if you have pictures from those events that you are in while the event is happening, you have until Friday to get those to us. On Friday, November 14th, we cut off submissions for those kinds of things. So if you haven't been awarded points for things that you've attended and you want to chat with us about it, please do so in the next week. Okay, transitioning to our speaker for today. Please welcome to the stage Joseph Husong to introduce our speaker.
I can't tell you how excited I am for you all to meet this incredible person. I met Dr. Chrissy many years ago when she was a faculty member at Rogers State University, and I could talk about all of her work with people who are struggling with addiction, helping them find a better path in life. I could talk about how she goes international, helping people find their paths. But I think the most meaningful introduction I can give and the most insight I can give into who she is as a person, when we reconnected yesterday when she flew in, we were talking about what she's been doing recently, and she shared, she's in Pittsburgh now, that her biggest goal right now is to make Pittsburgh a better culture, one act of kindness and one person at a time. And that is who she is, and I'm really excited for you to get to learn from her. So please welcome the incredible Dr. Chrissy Whiting-Madison.
You're too sweet. Oh, love you, Joseph. Good morning, Bethel College. Okay, this sad little clapping ain't gonna work for me. We're gonna have to hype it up a little. How we all doing today? Okay, that was so sad. I serve a group of 150 every single day. They are so more hyped than that. How y'all doing today? Thank you. I know you were all shamelessly bribed to come here and listen to me talk today. I'm trying not to be offended by that, but we'll work on that. So hi guys, my name is Dr. Chrissy because Whiting-Madison is way too long to say. Y'all can call me that. Y'all can call me Chrissy. I am pretty chill about that. I am beyond thrilled to be here today. When Joseph asked me to come out, I feel like we planned this forever ago in so many ways, and then it just was here. And really happy to share with you guys about how to lead a happier life. As Joseph said, and also Trent, I currently work, I actually run an organization in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I help about 150 to 200 people every single day create a healthier, happier path for themselves. I have a team of about 12 counselors and staff that work for me. We laugh a lot because if you're not laughing, you're crying. And it's a super, super happy environment. So if you ever find yourself in Pittsburgh, come look us up. You will have a great day, I promise. But today we're going to talk about just a few different tools that you guys can walk away with today. I don't have nearly enough time to talk, which I learned the hard way this morning. So we will try to get through them, and then we'll leave a little bit of time for Q&A. Sound good? Awesome, let's get started. So a little bit about me. Oh my God, that big is scary. So a little bit about me. You might be sitting here today thinking that it's gonna require a big change. It's gonna require time and effort. Well, I'm here today to tell you that it doesn't. We are gonna talk about just a few easy tips that I'm going to tell you I personally did for myself to turn this girl, which is about y'all's age, into this girl. So yeah, that's me over on your left when I was about 18 years old. This is me now. It's a pretty current pic, maybe about a year old at this point. So true story. I was talking about this to a couple of my counselors just a few weeks ago, and my counselor Marvin, and yeah, I'm gonna name drop him until my name dropped him. He said, "Oh, I wanna see this picture of you from high school." And I said, "Sure," and I pulled it out. And the next 2 days he came in looking exhausted. And I said, "Marvin, what's wrong?" And he said, "You showed me that picture and now I can't close my eyes." Yeah, mean, right? Mean. But I think this is important to show because I think people, when they first hear me speak, assume that I've always been the girl on the right, which is, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And not the girl on the left. The girl on the left was very quiet, very self-conscious, and very unexpecting of what life was going to look like and what was to come, right? The girl on the right literally has fun no matter what she's doing, and is a lot more confident sometimes than the girl on the left. And for me, I always said I was my own best science experiment, my own best dissertation, because this is what I did. And I'm going to talk to you guys about the things that I did today. There's lots of other things that other experts do, but this is very much my research and my things. So I will share you the things that made me me. And I hope you guys learned a lot from it. So number one, everybody remember when Snapchat first came out? We were all excited to be like cats and puppies and monkeys. Anybody remember that? You guys were probably pretty young at the time, but I remember being so stoked I could be Hello Kitty, right? I always should have been. I'm a Hello Kitty nut. I got her tattooed on my arm, showed her to the class this morning. My thumb drive, that's perfect, like Hello Kitty. My whole house, you should pray for my husband, all Hello Kitty. And I remember just thinking like, how one little filter and one little app on a phone, such a small, really insignificant thing, really, could really do a big change for me of how I felt like I should always be like playful and fun, and how seeing myself like that made me feel more like me. A little tiny tweak. Now, who here is not afraid to admit that since they have been up this morning, they have thought and or said something negative about themselves? Well, that was a quick hand over here, I see. Really, nobody else? Nobody else? Because I have a feeling there's more. Okay, I will tell you guys that usually confident girl on the left, you're right, my left, is, you thought this morning, man, I've gained weight. Man, my hair is doing a funky thing. I thought so many insulting things about myself just before breakfast. Anybody feel me on this? Anybody? Yeah, I see a lot of hands, y'all. And it's real. We are our own harshest critics. We are so mean to ourselves every single day. And no matter what we do, we think we're supposed to be that way because God forbid if we showed ourselves some grace or some love that we would like not be selfish or narcissistic or full of ourselves, right? Because like we are so socially encouraged to berate ourselves that it becomes so natural. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but who thinks it is harder to look in the mirror and say something nice than say something negative? Right? Same. Well, today, guys, we are going to challenge this false belief, and we're going to talk a little bit about self-love, but maybe even more so, figuring out who we are that matters. If I were to describe myself right now in front of you, which I will because they gave me a mic attached to my ears and trust me to do that, I would probably tell you guys I'm funny, a little chubby, funny, a little chubby. Yeah, that's what I got. I think I make people laugh a lot. In fact, I'm told often that the best thing about me is I laugh harder at my own jokes, and that's what's actually funny than they're laughing. That's okay. I'm working on that. But that's kind of what I would describe myself as. Like one thing that's okay, right? One thing is kind of harsh, right? And I would probably challenge a lot of you in this room, even though you are younger than me, that you would probably say something similar. Even the compliment that you would give yourself would probably be a little dialed back in. I see a lot of y'all nodding, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to challenge you guys today to think of yourself a little different. So I'm going to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, maybe a little longer at this point, I got to experience something that I wish every human being on earth, whether you are in Greece or in America or any of the places I've spoken, that every single person could have this experience. My very best friend is a girl named Heather. Heather has known me forever. Heather has seen me at my worst, at my best. She has seen me at 120 pounds. She's seen me at 250 pounds. She has seen me not educated. She was there when I got my PhD. The first time they called me Dr. Whiting Madison, she was there. She was there when I had a baby, and I promise I did not look cute then. She was at my wedding, and she looked cuter than me, and that wasn't okay. She has seen it all. I had the opportunity of being at an event, and I was in one room, and adjacent, she was in another room. And I heard her say, "Have you met my older sister?" We're not really biologically sisters. We've just been friends that long that we say that. And most people actually think we are, but that's, another story for another day. She said, "Have you met my sister? She's amazing. She's probably saved more lives than she can possibly wrap her head around. She has presented internationally to people on how to have happier lives. And she literally spends every day of her life sitting down and talking to as many people as possible about how to be happier every single day. She transforms people in ways I can't even begin to imagine. And she's my hero." Okay, I always crack on that last part. It's funny, I tell this story and I still feel tears in my eyes every single time. I'm her hero. Bad choice, really. She should rethink that. But I'm her hero, guys. And I save lives. And I think to myself, when I think about that's who I really am. That's what's important. Is it really important that I'm 5 pounds overweight? Is it really important that my hair did this fun flip-floppy thing today? Is it really important that I laugh louder at my jokes than other people do? Or is it really important how she sees me? Someone who truly knows me and truly loves me. And what that message is feels so much more important than anything else I can imagine. So one of the first tips and tricks I'm going to send you guys home with today is a really simple one. In fact, you know what? Let's do it together. If you guys would all close your eyes and think about the person who loves you the most. Maybe it's more than one person. Maybe it's, an unusual person. Maybe it's your cat or dog. I'm not judging. I'm a pet person. And then I want you to think about how they would describe you if you weren't in the room. Take a second and really embody that. Anybody willing to share? If you're emotional, it's okay. It means you did the exercise right. Right? Joseph, how would your person describe you? Is that how you describe yourself when you meet people? Right? I bet you describe yourself by your job, maybe what you're good at, maybe you're a student, maybe you're an athlete, right? But you don't describe yourself that way. However, I would be inclined to think that your vocation, your calling in life is probably more related to what you just said about yourself. In fact, I would challenge each and every person in this room, and I have no idea how many there are here. I could sit and count, but we won't do that. To really think about how that is who you truly are, but even a step further about how that's going to impact who you become the day you graduate from Bethel. Who is that person going to be, and why does it matter so much? And even if you're a faculty here and you're not necessarily a student, how does knowing who you really are affect tomorrow? Affect the spouse you are, the parent you are, the grandparent you'll become. It's going to affect you because that's what really matters. And it does come from a place of self-love, and it does come from a place of, I am worthy of love from others who truly see what to value in me. So not only am I going to encourage you to take this with you, I'm going to encourage you to have everybody take off their Hello Kitty filter and figure out how the world really sees them, because that's the you that matters. That's the you that's going to go out into this world and make an amazing difference that I can't even wrap my mind around yet. And I can say, yeah, they sat there and listened to me once. And that's amazing. Number 2, grow your relationships with gratitude. So this one, guys, I have to tell you, were my students back in my teaching days. I still teach, but on a part-time basis. I had a group of students who listened to me talk about the value of gratitude. And they came up with an idea. They wanted to engage with Southwest APA, SWP, or SWAPA, and do a presentation on changing relationships through the lens of gratitude and what it can do. They came up with a theory, a qualitative analysis, which those of you that know I'm not a numbers person. I'm all about them words, so that was great. And what they did is they selected 5 different couples that were on a journey. Some were newlyweds. Some were just dating. One couple had been married for 30 years. One couple was already having struggles. And just these different groups and different points in their relationship. And they said, are you willing to commit for 1 month to put a note app in your phone and write one thing you appreciate about your partner every single day for a month? Easy, right? We're on our phones all the time. I mean, probably about 20 of y'all on there right now. It's okay, I don't really mind. But it's easy. We live on our phones. One thing every day. So they did interviews in the beginning. And in the beginning, the interviews were horrible. Even the newlyweds. It was like, well, how do you consider a marriage? Well, I'm a little irritated because they didn't do the laundry yesterday. They didn't do the dishes. And there was all this, just a vat of every answer had a negative lens. Shocking just to begin, straight out the gate, that the view went negative, right? It's interesting because unless you're really trying, our brains like to do that. We like to see the bad. We like to see the negative. Don't believe me? Think about the last time you read a news story. Did you really click on the story about the cute little puppy? Or did you click on the story about where 15 people died and it was horrible? Right? We're inclined to be negative. So we're going to switch the lens on these couple for exactly 1 month. 1 month. Guys, I'm going to tell you, I believed in this stuff, but when these kids did this, I believed in it even more. Every couple, just off the charts better. One couple was going to renew their wedding vows. All of them reported happiness and satisfaction in the relationship. And maybe even more powerful is every single one of them committed to keep doing it. And I think they're probably pretty happy today, but that's just an educated guess. What was really neat is these students took them to SWAPA and competed with this study. Yes, they won, and I was very proud of them. But the really neat part was every time I looked over at them, they were standing with their poster surrounded by people. Not people asking about their research, but asking about how to save their marriage. Isn't that neat? Those kids went on to affect so many people, and those people probably talked about it, and those people probably talked about it, and how many marriages are stronger just because one person chose to dedicate a month of their life to seeing what was best in their marriage. So I am married. I also have a daughter. She's your age, which is horrifying. And I do this. Now, I've been doing it for years. What's really awesome, though, is it's, when you're trying to scroll to something and you're doing this for like 15 solid minutes? right? I've been doing it for so long, and I do it every single day, that like I forget things he did. And I'll see things as I'm scrolling. Like the day I had a flat tire and he was literally really sick and like violently vomiting, and he still came and changed my tire while throwing up on the side of the road the entire time. And I forget about that, but I'm like, man, he didn't have to do it. He would have said, call AAA. He came and did it. All the times he made me coffee. All the times he did the laundry. All the times he sent me flowers, all the times. And it's like every single day I scroll through those and I'm reminded that I am married to one amazing guy. Do we have a good marriage? Yes, we do. If you're friends with me on social media, you will know my husband and I actually renew our wedding vows every single year in a different state. Every single year. We have a cute little cork board. We do a different state, 50 years together. And I have an amazing marriage. And I'm telling you, this is a big part of why. My daughter, you know, she's 18, she's a senior in high school. She shouldn't like me that much, but you know what? We get along great. And again, I scroll, and I'm reminded all the reasons that she is such an awesome human being. And we have a great relationship. And it's so easy to turn off that hard, ingrained nature of negativity into actually seeing things positively. Number 3, the importance of human connection. So a lot of y'all grew up and were in high school or even middle school during COVID, right? Right? How did y'all feel during COVID? Yeah, lots of thumbs downs. Maybe some people like staying home. I will say, if you do any research on it, there was off the charts depression and off the charts anxiety. Don't believe me? Think a little harder. We live off each other's energy level. The question I asked this morning, easy one, right? Who in here has ever had somebody not like them? I should have every hand up here because we're not everybody's cup of tea, right? Now, think to yourself, did they have to tell you or did you just know? I'm going to guess they didn't have to tell you. And I'm going to guess that you just knew because we feel each other's energy. Whether you call it new agey, I heard woo-woo a couple times in my life, energy is real. And it's so important that we are around the right people. It's so important that we find our people and we are around them in a physical sense. Now, since COVID, we learned that people could work remotely. We learned I don't have to, I can eat out and have it brought to me. Guys, Walmart will put away your groceries. Okay, first of all, they're not doing that in my house. They don't want to see how disorganized I am. But we have gotten to such a point where we don't need human connection, that we are losing human connection, and we don't understand why people are more depressed and anxious than ever before. I get that it's a correlation. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is what caused it, but this is something we can't ignore. It's funny because I always have a hard time building my resume because the things that I'm good at don't make sense. I am really good at bringing people together and creating happy energy. How do you put that on a resume? You're probably looking at it going, what? What does that even mean? But what I can tell you is people come to see me every day, even long after they really have to keep coming to our program, because they say, and I quote, when I walk through the door, it feels like I got wrapped in a warm hug. Awesome. Do I know how I did that? Not a freaking clue. I wish I could because I teach people. I'd probably make a lot of money, but I don't know. I just know that when people are happy, you're happy. When people are feeling loved and loving, you feel loved and loving. When people don't like you, you know. And it stinks. I don't know about you, but I would love to say I don't care that people don't like me, but I know it's a lie, and I think it's a lie for most people. I think all of us care at least a little when somebody doesn't like us, especially when there's no reason. We don't care. Guys, there's this researcher. His name's Sebastian Junger. Feel free to look him up when you're writing a really good scholarly paper. This guy actually was the director of the movie The Perfect Storm back in the 90s. He is a movie director turned researcher. Really cool backstory, and I have the biggest research crush on this man ever. He doesn't believe that PTSD is real, at least in the sense that they talk about it. Now, I do believe in PTSD. I work with people that have it every day. But I think his perception of it is really interesting. He believes that the reason PTSD exists, not so much that it's not real, is the loss of brotherhood from a war situation that you don't take home with you. Really interesting, especially when you're thinking about combat PTSD. I mean, we all like to think that we would take a bullet for our bestie, but we really don't know because we've never been in that situation. However, if you've been in active combat, guess what you know? You know you would take a bullet for your bestie. And that level of love is not ingrained in civilian life. It's just not. That level of commitment and dedication and just friendship doesn't exist in the regular world. He believes, and all of his research backs it up, is that if we actually loved each other on that level, that there would be a lot less instances of things like PTSD symptomology. Lots of less depression and a lot less anxiety. It's hard. For somebody that was, going back to my original slide, the girl on the right, I was so shy. But you know what? I was also really depressed. Loneliness is real. I mean, it really is. Not having people that are your people is probably one of the hardest things you can ever do. And I feel like I have to talk about this as one of my happiness tips because you've got to find your people. You've got to find your people. You know the people that like laugh whenever you really don't know what you're laughing about? Like those are the best people, right? And there are going to be people that are just like you. I'm a terrible innuendo sense of humor person. Like if it can be made naughty, I'm probably going to laugh before everybody even knows what I'm laughing about. In fact, I was called out for it in my PhD program. He said, and I quote, "There's one person in every group, you are clearly ours." But you know what? I've actually managed to hire at my team. Every single person has a sense of humor like mine, and it's amazing. I can't tell you how much I laugh. I'm telling you this, I have abs of steel and I don't work out. And it's so great. Guys, how do you feel when you laugh? Right? It's the best. It's the best. And if you find the right people to laugh with, oh my gosh, guys, you've won life. You've won life. It is so hard to be depressed or anxious if you're around people who would quote unquote take a bullet for you, jump in front of a car for you, right? His stuff's really interesting. Now, while I do challenge him on whether this stuff really exists or not, I challenge him. But I also see the very, very strong emphasis he put on having your people. And I hope you guys have your people around you right now. I see some of y'all looking at each other, and I think that's awesome. Just sharing. Okay. Happiness tip number 4, and this is the one that has been on my heart so heavily since moving from Oklahoma to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Have you ever been to Pittsburgh? I thought I heard a Steeler fan like somewhere up there a minute ago. Been to Pittsburgh? Hey, see? I knew Trent was going home with me. Not like that, y'all. Okay. I'm happily married. He's just going to work for me. He doesn't know yet. Y'all terrible. Okay, there's my people. Did y'all hear that? I love it. Oh. So if you've never been to the Northeast, people are not friendly, like at all. And they say they're friendly, which is kind of like really weird. And I had to learn this the hard way. So where I work in the actual city. So you can walk to get coffee, you walk to get lunch, and everybody walks. And I was walking, and I walked by a guy, and I said, "Hey, how are you?" And he was like, "Oh, hey, and I'm like, "Chrissy?" And he was like, "Yes, and he's from, and I'm like, down the street. He's like, "Oh, of course, how you been?" I'm like, "I don't know you." Like, I was just saying hi. And I'm like, well, that's kind of funny. He pretended to know me. I wonder if this is a thing. So then it got fun. 2 days later, passed a guy. I said, "Hi, how are you?" And he was like, "Hi, And I'm like, this is a thing. And I'm like, "Jessica?" And he's like, "Of course." And I'm like, he's from, I'm like, "Algebra." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, how have you been?" Needless to say, I've now been 17 different women, and I've gone to prom with 3 different one of them. They pretend every time. It's so fun. This is going to blow up in my face one day. I'm going to be at an event and like 15 people are going to come up to me. But hasn't happened yet, and it's still great fun. They're just not friendly. So I've started a few little things. For example, if somebody lets me merge into Pittsburgh traffic, I blow them a kiss or I sign "I love you." You guys should see the reactions I give when people behind me. If I cross the street and I jaywalk, which I do a lot, I'm just going to own that because I don't like having to go that far. I will blow them a kiss when people let me cross. Now, I have a guy who works for me, not Marvin. This one's Terry. I have a lot of guys that work with me. Terry! And Terry crosses the street with me a lot. We usually leave at the same time. And guy let us cross, not at the crosswalk like we should have been at. And I blew him a kiss. And Terry said, "Oh my gosh, you do not know where you live. You're going to get a shot." And keeps like, yelling about it. Every time I do it, gonna get a shot. Well, sure enough, one day, we were crossing the street. Guy in a big old pickup truck, and I blew him a kiss. And that guy pulled over. Screech! And he was like, that's it. I told you, this is the day we die. He was sure of it. Guy got out of his car and said, excuse me, to my, very, very scary, like, little self. And I was like, yes. And did you just blow me a kiss? And I was like, yes, I did that. And he said, you made my entire day. I was having the worst day ever. Thank you for turning it around. And I went to Terry. But guys, it changed him. It changed him, and it was so small. So now, of course, I'm just like fed to do this as much as possible. My goal, I'm changing Pittsburgh, guys. It's going to be like Kansas or Oklahoma. People are going to be friendly. I got this. Guys, you can change the world. And this is why this is my last thing I talk about, because you have no idea how much power you have in your hands. No idea how much power. So as I said, I have a daughter. She's now 18. Her name's Karina. And Karina knows I talk about her, so it's okay. She's cool with it. But when Karina was very small, she and I used to do a thing. We'd be bored, have nothing to do on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, and we would do what we called random act of kindness days. We might go to the mall, might go to an amusement park, might go to a museum, but the goal was to compliment and say nice things or do nice things for as many people as we possibly could in one day. So this could be like, I love your sweatshirt. That's my favorite shade of pink. Love it. Yeah, it's you. It's you. It's you. And oh my gosh, yes, you have the best smile. I noticed earlier when I was first started talking, I love your smile. We would do this all day. We would offer to hug people. You'd be shocked. People usually say yes. I mean, I honestly think I got one no in all the years we did this. Hold the door. Let people merge in traffic. Blow kisses. Sign I love you. Even old school way. I saw that. Right? It turns out that when you make people happy, you're happier. Like that whole energy exchange thing we talked about, right? Like they're happier, you're happier, and then it feeds off itself, Really cool thing, we have actually seen other people start doing what we were doing that we didn't even know. One day we just were, hello, my name is stickers, and said, it's National Hug Day, may I hug you? And before we knew it, there were 10 other people hugging people. We didn't even know these people. But man, it felt amazing. The energy in that room, fantastic. So great. Well, Karina and I did this probably once a month for the better part of, and we still do it, the better part of our life. Of course, I think we probably missed a few times here and there, but there was the one time that it really needed to happen, that will always stick with us. Anybody know the store Torrid at the mall? Anybody know the store? There was a girl in Torrid, and she was crying. And I want to say Karina was 8 or 9. I would have said 6 or 7, but didn't want to go there. Y'all are welcome. And she walked up to this young lady and said, can I help you? Are you okay? And the girl confided in her that she didn't think she'd be asked to prom, but she was. And that she was having a hard time finding a dress because of the way her body was made. And Karina, in her true Karina-ness, said, I'll help you put together an outfit. So we ended up going full Barbie doll with this girl and like just putting things together and to make them look like a formal dress. And we probably easily an hour, if not more, with this girl. And we put together an outfit, and she was so happy. She felt so beautiful. So, we decided we were going to kick it up a notch. And when she was changing, we went and paid for it and snuck away. Why not? We could afford it. It was like maybe $100. Wasn't that bad? And we left. Never told her our names. I think we heard hers maybe. It was just what we did. That was our game, right? It was the game. A couple months later, I was in a neighboring town. That was in Tulsa, and I was in Claremore, for those of you that are familiar at all with the area. And we were at Walmart. And I was with my daughter and my husband, and I heard a girl literally screaming, nice lady from Torrid, on the top of her lungs. And I was like, no freaking way. Turned around, and sure enough, here's the girl that we got her prom outfit for her with her mom. And she's like, Mom, this is them. This is the little girl. This is them. And Rachel's like so excited. Mom grabs me and hugs me. And, and we talked for a while, and I said, did you feel gorgeous? And she was like, oh my gosh, it was the perfect night. Thank you. And really like telling me about it. And then she ended up showing Karina pictures. And while she was showing pictures, the mom turned to me and said, thank you for saving my daughter. She was going to go home and kill herself that day. And she said, if a little girl cared enough about me to help me, maybe I'm not that bad. And I'm going to tell you guys, I've told that story a billion times too, and I can't not cry. Because guys, you just don't know. What was a stupid game from me and my daughter saved a life of a girl who I might mention was an amazing young lady who was totally going to go on and do amazing things. And because that was the one Karina picked to be kind to, we saved her life. Guys, I'm telling you, you never know who needs that kiss blown to them. You never know who needs that I love you. You never know who needs that free hug at the mall. You never know who needs the door open. You never know who needs to be told you have a great smile, you're pretty, your eyes light up a room. You never know, guys. Because guess what? People are hurting. They're hurting everywhere. You guys might be hurting right now. If you are, hey, I love you. That one's for you. Guys, you can change things. You can change Bethel College by acts of kindness. Karina, my husband, and I can change Pittsburgh through acts of kindness. I have no doubt we're doing it. My daughter has always struggled. She was actually born with global developmental delay. She got held back a few years. That's why she isn't already in college. She's had to have reconstructive surgeries done on her face because her body stops growing. She was almost blind. Her optic nerve stopped growing, and they had to reattach it surgically. She can't see. Lots and lots of issues. Her jaw alone, we had several surgeries on because it just wouldn't grow. You met Karina now. Yes, she's very small, but you wouldn't know. She's so funny. However, she is not smart. She's pretty. She's got a great personality. She's not smart. Sorry, I'll be the mom there who's owning this. And I spent years of my life listening to all my friends talk about how their kids were on the honor roll, had straight A's. And I'm like, yep, my daughter's going to finish this year and get through to the next one. Woohoo! And I was happy as can be because I knew that was winning for her because she probably shouldn't even be alive. And I knew we were winning. My daughter started looking at colleges a few months ago, and her first choice school was the Indiana University of Pennsylvania, IUP, which is a competitive school to get into. And I said, you know what, we can apply, but if you don't get in, we can do community college. We can keep trying. She wrote an essay about the story I just told you. The prompt was, why should you go to school here? And she wrote, I really don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life, but what I know is I am going to change the world, make it happier, and told that story. I'm really, really proud to share that just last week, Karina was named the presidential scholar for the incoming freshman class of 2026 at IUP, which is a full scholarship. Because guess what? Good gets good. Good gets good. And if you don't believe me, go leave today and give somebody a compliment. Just stop a stranger and wait till you see how good it feels. It's going to feel awkward at first, but then y'all going to know what crack is like because it's better. It feels so good to say nice things and watch their faces light up. It feels so good. And guys, do it and watch it. If everybody in this room does it, it's going to change everything. Going to change everything. So guys, I do want to leave a little bit of time to let you guys ask some questions. These are my books. Feel free to find them at the library. Don't buy them. You don't have to buy them. I'll send you a copy if you want to reach out to me. If you want to be a little happier, I got lots of tips and tricks. That's just like a couple that I could cover in a really small time frame. Also on social media, you can find me almost everywhere on social media now. This is a little bit outdated. And also feel free to reach out to me. Just say, hey, I had a question about something you said, or I was wondering about this situation. You'll find I'm very, very communicative, and I will talk to you, I promise. All right. Thank you guys so much. You guys were so fun to talk to. Even if you were bribed, not letting that one go right away.
You up for a few questions?
Sure.
We've got a mic here, and Peter's got one in the back.
This light is so bright.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, show of hands. Who's going to go give somebody a compliment later? Oh my gosh, great. What? I should see every single hand up. What? All right. Who's going to do a note app on your phone? Yeah, good stuff. Awesome.
I have a question to start.
Okay, Trent.
Yeah. what you're describing takes a lot of time, right? Like you were in the mall, you dedicated an hour to somebody you don't know. How do you structure your time in a way that frees yourself up to be kind and share kindness the way you're describing?
That's a great question. I will say at first it's hard. I'm not going to pretend it's easy. But you know, I'm also going to be honest with you that I am not like the most like ultra-docious person you're ever going to meet. I'm really not. But it feels so good. It feels so good that the first time you do it, you're going to make time to do it again and again and again. And then you know what you're going to do? You're going to go to a new city. You're going to drive to Dallas from Tulsa and do it there. You're going to drive to Kansas City. Went to the Mall of America once and did it. Then I went to the Mall of America 6 more times and did it. We've been to New York City. We've been to Chicago. Honestly, like it's intentional. Because I'm going to be honest, everything has to be intentional. Your life moving forward has to be intentional. You need to intentionally be in school. Maybe to make it to the pro athletes. Maybe you're going to be, you know, I hope so. I hope I see you in the NFL someday. I'll be very excited. Or maybe you're going to be a teacher. You know, you have to be intentional. I had a friend not too long ago say to me, I don't have any time to see my wife and I'm depressed. And I said, when's the last time you intentionally scheduled a date? Right? And we're all busy. But you know, it's what is that adage? You're always going to find time for what matters to you. Always. So don't settle. I'm telling you guys, once you do it, you're going to be addicted. Before you know it, you're going to be booking your vacations around doing it. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. By the way, Universal Studios, this was a lot of fun to do there. Thank you.
Yeah. Other questions? There we go. Back here.
Oh, okay. For the random acts of kindness, obviously going up to random strangers would take a lot of confidence. Was that something that you had to develop over time? And then also, like, or were you just good at it from the start? And then would you say it's easier because you go with your daughter than doing it by yourself? And so would taking somebody along with you be a recommendation?
I feel like the way you worded that, you already know the answer. Oh my gosh, so hard, especially somebody who was shy most of her life. Like, honestly, I said this morning, if you would go back and tell that girl who I am now, I would have been like, there's not a chance. Not a chance. I'm not going to talk to a couple hundred students. Like, not a chance. Am I going to go up to a stranger and tell them I love their pink hair? No. Oh my God, that's so scary. So no, it actually was super unnatural and uncomfortable for me initially. It did, however, to take it like a 3 or 4 year old, like honestly, like little toddler kid, because then it's cute, and that made it easier. So yes, absolutely take somebody with you. Absolutely. Not to mention then, 2 of you get the experience, and 3, 4, whatever. It ends up being better and better and better. But that being said, like it gets easier. Sometimes. I would love to say like it never feels hard or weird, but like, guys, as happy and upbeat and as positive as I am, I still have rough days. And some days, like I know I have one of these coming up on the calendar, and it's the hardest thing in the world to do. But it does get easier, and it is worth it. And I'm always glad I did it. Always glad I did it. Even when like the last thing I want to do is talk to a stranger. I'm always glad.
How do you keep on loving? Like, how do you have so much love in you? And like, where does that love come from? And just, yeah.
So full disclosure, I am a Christian. In fact, if you ever read one of my books or read any of my articles, you'll know I do talk about it. But yeah, I definitely think a lot of my love does not come from within me. Or kind of comes within me. You know what I mean? But I am a believer, and that's a big part of it. I also just think that like good things grow just like bad things grow. If you have something negative and you keep dwelling on it and ruminating on it, it doesn't get better, right? And the same goes for love. Like once you realize you can love a stranger and really help them, like it grows. And then before you know it, you care about that stranger's family, and you care about the 150 people that came into your program today when you had an idea for a program that everybody thought was insane, and it actually is working. And it grows. But again, it's not always easy. Sometimes like choosing to love someone is the hardest thing in the world. That's such a good question. and good to see you again.
As a guy that's bigger, I can come across as intimidating. So how do I present and not, I'm trying to control you, it's like, oh, nice smile, kind of the slightly misogynistic thing.
Wow, that's honestly, this is a new one for me. Yeah.
Versus a real, that it's taken as intended.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great question. I'm honestly just going to give you like what my gut response is because it's not something I've ever been asked before. Full transparency. You might have to send me an email so I can research and get back to you. But my gut is telling me like I can feel when people are genuine. And I think like, when you're smiling and when you're like, I think people can feel it. And that being said, like that has to be a challenge because obviously me and my daughter are not big people. So it's, not like, I don't think it'd be intimidating, but wow, that's an interesting challenge. I might have to get back to you on that.
Yeah, I've even had people cross the road when I've been walking down a dark street. So.
Well, I definitely will say don't give up. But that's, I'm going to get back to you on that because, again, a problem in Pittsburgh, people never admit they're wrong or they don't know something. I don't know that answer, but I'd like to learn more about it and get back to you on that. So.
One more question from me. I get the impression that you really get joy from talking with students, helping students, that kind of stuff. We have a table reserved in the cafeteria for you to eat, but I don't want to assume that you want students there asking questions. Would you feel comfortable if students who wanted to spend more time with you could join you for lunch?
I would love that. Love that.
I thought that would be your answer.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
I would love that.
Great. So if you have more conversations that you want to have, by the way, Convo scanners, why don't you come to the front? But if you have more questions that you want to ask, please come join us in the cafeteria. Other than that, you can be dismissed.